It's been 453 days since now 16-year-old Sebastian Rogers vanished from his home in Hendersonville. His disappearance sparked national headlines, but now his father says the case is losing momentum. With National Missing Children's Day coming up on Sunday, he is raising his voice and demanding urgency. News 2's Caitlin.
I went and talked to neighbors, and every single one of them, every single one, welcomed me. And if they had video surveillance, they gave it to me. The only person that would not talk to me as the only person that had something to hide and wouldn't talk to me. You know, she has a son that's hiding and waiting for somebody in the dark, late at night on the 25th. And there needs to be some explaining for that. I'll just leave it at that.
That we are going to keep searching, we are going to keep looking, we are going to find him, and we are going to bring him home.
Since we first aired the video last month, authorities have said
no evidentiary value.
It is of no evidentiary value. It is of no evidentiary value.
Can you tell me what those lights are?
No.
Why?
Because the investigation remains ongoing.
Yeah, I'm working on behalf of Sebastian. I am not, my client is Sebastian, and they're the guardians that have the ability to sign.
It just started. Hi Dad, I know this has been a family, but tomorrow's picture day. So could you send some basic clothes over to me so that I can wear the decent clothes and be handsome for my birthday if we don't need decent clothes? Mom.
Because our heart is missing. He is my world. I need him. I need him back with me.
And I would just say thank you to everyone and anyone that is a part of that. Is a part of that.
It's much to bear and you don't care and I wanna play alone. I got you in my sight. I keep all the words you said to me. I get you on your knees. Rewrite all the things you said that I should be. I'll get you, now you'll beg me please. Hey.
All right, we are live. Welcome everybody. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Give me 1 second here. Please hit that like button on your way in. It should be okay. We don't know what we don't know. Quote of the century. Yeah. All right. Let's see. Okay, here we go. All right. Before we get started, just a couple of updates. So, the keychain thing, for those that don't know, of course, we had some leftover money from the fundraiser, and I just want to quickly address the fundraiser itself. I just want to remind some people, there's just a few out there, that, what the fundraiser was for, was to get GPR and a canine cadaver dog out there, and we did that. That's what the fundraiser was for. We just didn't plan on having leftovers. Now the leftovers, obviously, I just don't want to go out and blow whatever we have left over on just anything. We really wanted to come up with a clever way to help further the awareness for Sebastian Rogers, and with the help of others, coming up with an idea of a keychain flashlight with his picture and information on it, and then having those sent out across America, to a select few, I think would be such an amazing idea. Um, uh, um, but the thing is, unfortunately, well, I shouldn't say unfortunately, but we have been speaking with, so we're working with a company that's called Buy Stadium. You can look it up, BY Stadium. Again, they have a bunch of different swag that you can order and put different logos or different, designs on them. So we pretty much been speaking with their team behind the scenes, getting this mock-up ready and ready for production. And basically, we were hoping to like pay for it today. And we found out, unfortunately, that because we have the 1-800 call FBI on it, so they ran it through their legal team, and I guess that is an issue for them. I guess having some kind of law enforcement thing on in the design and conflicts with, with their legal team. So we are trying to find a workaround on it, and we do have a couple of ideas. And so we are now just waiting. So it is kind of a bummer because we were hoping to announce in the next, today or in the next by this weekend that, these things are pretty much ready to go out. But we may need to redesign at least hopefully we can keep his picture and then maybe have create a domain, a website. It basically just has Sebastian Rogers, kind of like other missing people, please help find SebastianRogers.com, .org, whatever. And then on that would have, just the summary of his story and then, the FBI tip line. And that way that would be the workaround. So instead of it being on, whereas you can see it say FBI in the red there, which is right now conflicting with Buy Stadium's legal team with having, I guess, law enforcement info on the actual design. We're hoping if we can just put a website that we can just easily build that would just do the same thing. You just take somebody to the website, then has all the information and the 1-800 call FBI. Hopefully that would be a workaround and we can get these into production. So right now we're just waiting for that. Bungee Court says, could you just put the number for missing children? We don't know. We're waiting on answers back from them on that. But yeah, if you guys have any ideas, put them in the chat because again, we have the next best thing that we're thinking of is what I just explained, making a domain, which doesn't cost much. Something like pleasefindsebastian.com. And then again, then you just go to the website and then it has all this information and the 1-800 FBI. But unfortunately, we cannot have any law enforcement info on the design itself. So yeah, unfortunately, that is kind of an issue. But if we can do that workaround with the website, then it's pretty much the same thing, as what we're going for anyway. We have this picture there and the information, and then, we'll have approximately, again, this is just a quote. We don't know until we get the final numbers, but around 300 that, again, not everybody's going to get one, of course, but 300 will go out across the U.S. So, what about shirts? I think shirts, I like the keychain thing. Shirts, anything that, obviously that has Sebastian and his info is great, right? But I think, with the keychain, there's obviously with the flashlight, there's kind of a story there, bring light to his case. And the fact that that's going to go everywhere, whereas a shirt, you're going to end up washing. How many times is that person going to wear that shirt? This is something that you could take everywhere, right? You can take it to the bar. I think it's yes, QR code. That is another idea. Yeah, that would be probably another good idea. Can we do that, hindsight? Can we do just a QR code? That might work as well. Yeah, we may do that. Yeah, I mean, it's not a bad idea for sure, me and you. I mean, anything to get his name, but I think the keychain, yeah, I really love the keychain because again, it's going everywhere, especially if it's people that get out a lot, right? Whereas a shirt, again, it's still great, but you know, especially for people that are going out. So that is the update. So we're just kind of waiting on that to figure out what is the best way. Yeah, to do that, Gypsy, and yeah, we may even do that. So yeah, just waiting for legal to reply to us. Yeah, versus shirts. Yeah. And I don't know if the shirts would cost more or who knows, but I to me, because it has, that symbolic with the keychain flashlight, like bringing awareness, bringing light. So yeah. So as I'm just gonna play just this 1 year anniversary interview. We are gonna dip back into the GPR data and the cemetery footage. As I mentioned on Tuesday, I thought it'd be kind of nice just to kind of take a break from the cemetery footage because I've been doing it nonstop, and I feel like, I don't want to get people dull or numb to just going over the same stuff. Even though we keep finding more or less new little things in that cemetery footage, I just felt like it would be good just to kind of take a break for a few live shows. So today's live, we're going to focus on Green Hoodie. Do have some interesting ideas on who this person could be and what they're wearing as well, because I think if we could figure out what they're wearing, could also tell us who this person may or may not be. So we're going to do that today, and then either tomorrow or Saturday will likely be the GPR data. There's been a few reasons why I wanted to wait. I told you guys Tuesday that, I wanted to make sure, because again, I am not a GPR data analyst. We do have an expert that is on our team, but and it'd be nice to have her on the show to explain stuff, but I don't know if I can get her on at the same time and be free. So anyway, I'm trying to learn as much as I can, so when I go over that data, I don't want to misquote anything and people take, something I said and, run with it and think that, because there is interesting stuff in that data as for those of the members. And I've shown to even some of you guys the data a little bit, that there is a few anomalies, as we call them. Again, it could be a rock or a tree root, but it's just weird because the nearest tree is like 50 feet away, and looking at the soil that they use, it doesn't look like there's, because whatever we're looking at seems to be fairly a decent size, and so that's why it is kind of interesting. Could be evidence in there, or it could be just something that, like I said, a rock or something. But anyway, we will go over that for sure and more. Yeah, I think the keychain's an amazing idea. I'm sure many of you guys have come up with some amazing ideas. But right now, I think the keychain and how far we're invested into it, I think that's the way to go this time around, and we could always do something in the future, of course, as well.
Don't let him become forgotten and lost because
Oh, thank you, Geneva.
we're never gonna stop.
Who is Green Hoodie? We will go over that, Marcia, here in about
With his
5
autism,
minutes.
Is there anything else that we should add that you want the public to know right now?
Okay, I'm going to put this full screen for just a second. This is just a small highlight from the 1-year anniversary. Curious to know. Let me know in the thoughts. Let me know in the chat. Do you guys think they'll do a 2-year anniversary with this same news channel? I would lean towards yes, but I'm curious if they're even going to bother. Be interesting to see. But anyway, I'm going to go full screen real quick. I've got to shut off my heater because I know it's going to turn back on.
I would say that he is what they would consider high functioning. He's not, he doesn't struggle with verbal communication, but he does, he does struggle sometimes with expressing himself is, I guess, the best way that I could put that. But he's so smart and he's so capable, and that I think the initial image of him that was portrayed was misleading to an extent. And I think that in the chaos of trying to get the initial information about him out, that various things got taken and misconstrued. So I would just tell everyone that he's smart, he's capable.
Okay. So let's see. People, I love the keychain idea. Maybe you can use Seth's website. Yeah, I mean, yeah, for sure. If they're okay with, again, like I said, we're waiting on more specific information from them. We were hoping for a response today. I mean, they did communicate a little bit today, but I'm assuming, when it comes to having to speak, because just regarding the keychain thing, so if you know what I'm talking about, like I said, we did everything like for the last 2 weeks, maybe a little less than 2 weeks. Feels like 2 weeks, with just building the keychain and the mock-up. And the mock-up, if you're wondering what we're talking about, this is what you consider a mock-up. The design, and so again, everything was pretty much, we had like a quote on how many we could make and pre-order, and then that way people would just get a QR code, and then they could, again, they don't, whoever's getting them, they're not having to pay for anything as long as they're in America. And yeah, like I said, we gotten through everything. We were pretty much ready to go into production and pay for them, have them ready. And then I guess their last step, which is kind of weird, you would think once you got the mock-up ready, before they started quoting us, they would have probably ran it through the legal team, but I guess they ran it through the legal team at the end, which is a bummer because it would have been nice to know much early on. But anyway, that's how it went. So again, yeah, I think we'll find a workaround, and I think some of the ideas that people have mentioned in here are great ideas, and we'll get it figured out. But I really, really think this is a really unique and amazing idea that hopefully, if it's popular and maybe we can get it in the news, maybe, if you guys want, we could somehow order more or something like that, somehow figure out, I don't know. We'll cross that bridge, when we get to it. But yeah. Yeah, exactly. Flash. Yeah, it's it. Yep, it's got that symbolic ideal to it. So let's see. We're gonna get into the green hoodie because there's been kind of a topic of it. Much. Oh, sorry, 1 second here.
And Sebastian went to BJ's.
Okay. So to let a few more people filter in. Let's see, what time is it? Okay, so it's already 6. I'll play just a little bit. This is just a little bit of the timeline. I know 99% of you know the timeline, but for anybody that doesn't know, this is Sebastian here. Went missing nearly 2 years ago. We're almost coming up on the anniversary. It's crazy. 2-year anniversary. So 2024. And this is technically the last known footage of Sebastian Rogers eating with his mother at a Texas Roadhouse, which is about 10-15 minutes away from his home. This was around, I think they got there around like 5:30 or something like that. But before that, they went to a couple of different places, which we'll learn here.
Right.
Prior to going to BJ's?
After picking up our niece.
I said prior.
And this is a PI for Seth, Heather Cohen, who is speaking with, well, I think she's trying to get the timeline from Katie, but of course Crispy is right there and is doing like 99% of the talking, even though he wasn't even there. He was supposed to be out of town in Memphis, working on the St. Jude's project. But here is them talking about what they did on Sunday, because it was Sunday the 25th. And then he went missing sometime at Sunday midnight, Monday morning.
Prior to going to BJ's,
Which was not Melissa.
they went and picked up a niece. That name is not going to be disclosed because it has no
Has been through.
business. And I promise you,
That's a
you
good
don't want to go to
question.
that house.
That child is going through enough with this mess. But no, it was not Melissa's daughter that I picked up.
Okay.
What you do need to know is,
BJ's.
all you need to know is that 2 sisters, Katie, Sebastian, and children went to BJ's. That is on a video footage.
Yeah.
I've seen that. Law
Yeah.
enforcement can confirm that.
Right.
She needs to be picked up.
Names don't need to be extracted, don't need to be out.
Yeah, I mean, minors' names don't need to be thrown out anyway.
Exactly.
No, I'm.
Sister doesn't need any more harassment either.
Yeah, I haven't said anything about Melissa at all.
No,
I haven't even mentioned her.
Well, Melissa,
His other sister.
once again,
Now, Melissa is Crispy, one of Crispy's sisters, who they, Katie, Sebastian, and a niece and would it be a sister-in-law, went out to BJ's.
my 2 sisters, Melissa and Cassie, were there. That's on video footage.
Yeah.
That has all been vetted. That has been proven. Proof of life, all that bullshit. Everything
Right,
that's
yeah.
taken from word beginning to has been told.
Yeah.
Isn't there at all.
Now, they go to BJ's. They leave BJ's.
Sebastian and I leave BJ's. Your sisters went their own way. I don't know what
I know.
they did.
Thank you,
They
Canadian
left
Lumber Baron. Good to
BJ's.
see you.
I did not insinuate a name. I didn't say who.
Just clarifying, it was just me and Bubba that left together.
So you and Sebastian leave BJ's.
So,
Used my Live 360 to give exact timestamps to the law
It
enforcement.
was before noon.
gotcha. Okay. Before noon at BJ's.
Yes.
Okay.
Law enforcement has the literal,
I know.
like, to the second.
We have been told we are not to give out exact times. And that
Gotcha.
came directly from law enforcement. We're not breaking that.
But like I
Okay.
said, they literally used my 360 and like
They got the
knew
timestamps.
That route I took.
Yes.
They knew how fast I went.
Yep.
They knew if I did any stops, which I didn't. They know, like they literally know every detail because we have upgraded 360. So they literally
What up,
and I
hindsight?
have a thing in my car with a camera.
Yeah, the dash cam.
It's not a dash cam.
Oh,
That's
okay.
where everybody's wrong.
Okay.
And I'm not going to tell people what it is, but all they need to
It's
know
a dash
in
cam.
this vehicle,
Stop
there
it.
was something that recorded a video and audio.
But law enforcement had multiple.
It's a dash
sources to
cam.
confirm every move I made that day with Bubba,
Okay.
up to and including voice and video.
Okay. So they go to the grocery store, and then they go home, and then they go to a strike and spare. This is all Sunday morning into the afternoon. So strike and spare. I forget the time. Someone can let me know the approximate time they were in there. They had a tournament going on, so they just played the arcade, so they didn't stay too long. And then we would eventually end up at the Texas Roadhouse. And you can see there it's military time there is 1750, but so that's coming up on 6 p.m. But I think they got there, I believe, a little before 5:30. And then I think they're basically there for pretty much almost an hour. They were there about from approximately 5:30 to 6:30 at the Texas Roadhouse.
As far as any adult, they can't see anywhere in the videos that they were followed. So if that is something that you're going to speculate on, it has been eliminated.
Yeah, I did talk to them about that, and they said that the cameras were shit. That they weren't really able to see a whole lot of anything at the Strike and Spare.
Okay. Strike and Spare's kind of getting up there in age.
But they went all the way back to BJ's, all that fun jazz.
But we went straight from Strike and Spare to
Texas Roadhouse.
and they confirmed again the video there. They even showed Seth a clip of it after his little "I haven't seen proof of life" comment, even though he had.
Yeah.
So anyway, moving forward here. And so during my last live, we kind of went over one of the scenarios. Did he actually even make it home that night? Because, again, there is a good argument to suggest that somewhere between Texas Roadhouse and after they left and before they reached home, somewhere Sebastian got switched out into another vehicle. I think it's definitely plausible. I still think that's definitely possible. He could have made it home, and then, something happened after that. Both scenarios, I think, hold weight.
And was uncovered, I guess, from law enforcement. Or it's actually, no, about a week uncovered. So far, my source has been on point.
But what got Texas Roadhouse, obviously, a lot of talk is when the footage finally got released by At Night, who went out and collected it in, I think, November-ish, somewhere around in there, correct me if I'm wrong, of 2024. So about 10 to 11 months after he went missing. And in it shows, Dog's Team or At Night released different little clips, 5 to 10 minute clips, some where they're just eating. And then they released one of these clips here, which shows an individual that is now labeled Green Hoodie Person, which does something very suspicious.
Okay. It came out in the Nancy Grace of,
And that is that this person comes out of the bushes from a different area. And actually, let me have to pull this up. Actually, let me do this real quick. Let me let this play for just a second so I can pull up the actual location on Google Earth here. So this is as they're arriving. But today's main part of the show is I'm going to go over some different things. Because some, At Night posted that they believe, and this was kind of a little more recent. It's been a couple of months, but they put out a very, in my opinion, controversial post where they claimed that they believe, or I'm not sure how it's worded, so please correct me if I'm paraphrasing, but they claimed, before that, it's always been believed that the Green Hoodie Person was a female. So usually referred to as Green Hoodie Lady. But then At Night posted something January or February, I don't know what, last November, December, a few months ago. Someone in chat knows. They put out a controversial tweet saying that they know or believe that it is a man and not a lady. Which to me, without being able to fully back it up, knowing that it's a man, I feel like, I don't know. I highly disagree with how they handled that, in my opinion. So, oops, sorry. Let me let this play. I'm just gonna pull up the address for Texas Roadhouse real quick here, so we can look at the grounds of it here. Right there. There it is. And notice Katie parking, how she this is Katie right here with Sebastian, has quite the trouble parking. There we go. Okay, there's Texas Roadhouse. Okay, there we go. Put that right there. Anyway. So they arrive at Texas Roadhouse, order meals, and then we have a very suspicious thing happen after they eat. Sebastian does appear like something's wrong. Seth, I think even, again, I'm paraphrasing, felt like something was wrong with his son when reviewing the Texas Roadhouse footage. Almost seemed like he was overstimulated. He doesn't do much. It doesn't seem like there's much conversation going on. And then just before they leave, we have this unknown person labeled the Green Hoodie, who arrives literally almost 2 minutes before they exit the car. And this Green Hoodie person walks. Here they come out. And this is what's interesting, is if we look at the top-down view here, this is Texas Roadhouse here. So we are looking, so the camera we're looking at is kind of pointing this way. Katie is in, let's see, the stall next to it. So Katie is in this stall here. And we have Green Hoodie, who comes out and through these bushes and comes through here. Now, what's interesting, they do many suspicious things. One of those is that the only thing that they do besides standing besides Katie's car is, after this weird interaction, which we'll go over. We're not going to go full in depth on it. We're really going to try to break down what she's wearing, if she's female, male, see what you guys think. But the only thing Green Hoodie does when they go inside is use the restroom and then leave. They don't go in to pay for anything. They don't speak to anybody. They literally go in and use the restroom, which is odd. Is you've got, I think, at least one store, maybe two, that would have a public restroom. Maybe even the urgent vet, I'm sure. I don't know if they'd let the public. I'm not sure about this place here. We have a dental place, but there's many establishments, even the Starbucks right here. But again, this person comes out of nowhere, or at least this parking lot. And here they come and literally beeline it towards Katie's car suspiciously. And they wait. for nearly 2 minutes. I think that's technically 1 minute and 50 seconds, but still, that's and you can actually see them like kind of stuttering back and forth. And again, if this was somebody that was like really needed to use the restroom, if that was like their goal, why are they waiting for 2 minutes standing between a car? Oh, thank you, hindsight. So the post that they put out December. Wow, just before Christmas. Wow. Interesting. But yeah, very strange. And then the other idea would be, well, maybe this is some kind of transient, looking for, begging for some money, but yet they pass at least 2 people when walking to Katie's car. The Blue Third brings Sebastian home. Thank you so much for the $5 super chat. That really helps this channel out. Again, we want to do so much more. We were able to what we were able to do with the fundraiser and come together and knock that out within a month or less. We would have had it knocked out even sooner if we didn't have to wait on the cemetery and other variables, but we still got it done. And how many channels can say that they got a fundraiser and then went out and actually did something? We learned a bunch. We cleared as far as, we don't think Sebastian's in the cemetery, right? I would say we're 99% sure. We had an amazing cadaver dog handler who is very, is definitely a veteran and has been used in this case before. And then we had GPR team, and we've had 2 different experts go over the data, and are confident that at the very least there's no body in the grave that we were concerned with, although there are anomalies which we will tap into Friday or Saturday. But so I think we've done quite a bit. And again, I can't do this without your guys' support. So do keep that in mind. And thank you guys. Lakeside Lawyer, member for 12 months. Hit the 1 year. That's awesome, Lakeside. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Justice for Sebastian. Hit that like button. Yes, please, if you can, hit that like button. We do have some interesting stuff with the green hoodie. I promise. We're going to get to it. I know a lot of this has gone over a million times. But I am going to bring up a few interesting concepts that maybe some or few have brought up. Geneva, thank you so much. Member for 40 months. That's so amazing, Geneva. Mob Crew rocks. You are awesome. God bless you. I'm just gonna say DNA resin. DNA resin. I'm just gonna say resin. Thank you so much for your membership. 3 months. That's so awesome. Sassy. Oh, God bless you. Thank you so much for the $10 super chat. Absolutely, Chris. I think you're referring to what we've accomplished. I think it's so awesome. And Kiki, member for 15 months. So proud to be a member. I appreciate you guys so much. So anyway, let's dive into it. Again, you can see her just kind of loitering around by Katie's car. I know it is something that we've gone over in other channels a bunch of times. Again, if her sole purpose, or this person's sole purpose was just to use the restroom, why are they waiting? Like, why are they kind of waiting literally almost 2 minutes between Katie and another person's car if, there wasn't something more, in my opinion, nefarious going on, such as some kind of communication? and it's almost like they knew that there was cameras. And I don't think it's no coincidence that the person, the green hoodie person, whenever they exchange or deal whatever communication between KK and this green hoodie is done kind of between the two cars. I think, that is by design. And notice how Sebastian, it's almost like he recognizes in a way who this person is, almost like he's seen this person before. Let me know what you think in chat. Does it seem like he's worried that this is some random stranger? Or does it feel like he's kind of like, do I know that person? Keep that in mind, because that'll be important for when we go to talk about, some of the identities that people put out. So, of course, an interesting exchange, very odd. You can even see, and this has been pointed out multiple times, but watch Green Hoodie's left hand. I know it's been mentioned before, but you'll notice she does it twice. She does this. She does 2 waves back right here. I'm going to play it. 2 waves. 1, 2. And if you slow it down, you can see the first one really well. The second one, I think, is not as pronounced, but in my opinion, I think that is her kind of waving her back a little bit more, get between the 2 cars. Right there. Wave, and one more wave. Again, if this was a complete stranger, would Katie, I know she knows MMA, but would she just nonchalantly just walk up to a stranger between your car? I mean, would you guys, male or female, somebody you don't know is kind of standing there loitering between your car? I would have stood back and waited, thinking this person's going to be walking between the cars. Again, when they have to pass, there's not much room, so they have to actually kind of like brush up against each other when they pass each other. Again, if this was a male, do you think Katie would have allowed like an unknown male to just kind of brush up past her? I don't know. Just bringing up different ideas. Not a chance. It wasn't a stranger to Katie. Yeah. Kitty, and it's not a bad argument. I mean, I think the biggest argument would be, was this is some kind of transient asking for money? But again, when you see them, they pass up all these people. And I mean, I think a lot of us have ran into people who've begged for money, sad that they're in hard times. They don't just focus on one person. Like they go to different people to ask for money. How come is it that they only interact with Katie and that's it? They come through the bush, they loiter between her car, speak with only Katie, go inside, come back out, and nobody else. They try to, if they were asking for money, right? Wouldn't they have, So I don't know. Just my opinion on that. Yeah, Bugsy, exactly. The wave right here. The wave. Or did that already go? Oh, no, here comes the wave, I think. Oh, maybe it already happened. I'm sorry. Oh, that already happened. We'll see the wave again, though. Now, I'm I'm not going to dive too much into this, but I do think she was handed something, and we've talked about that. I'm not going to go too much into, but it does appear that she puts headphones in. I only noticed the one ear because she turns. You can even see her nose as she turns to put the headphone in right here. You'll see her head cock. Boom, right there. Yeah, I mean, you can see it's exactly what I'm doing right now. But others have noticed that she actually puts the other with her other hand right after she kind of does this thing. So, again, that is very interesting. And I believe she could have been handed a burner phone. And because, remember, she has a dash cam, which is recording audio inside the car. So I would think that maybe she's getting instructions, through the phone. And then obviously, since the camera is pointed out the car, they would have no idea who she's speaking with. Oh, there's the wave. Okay. Let's see. Hey, Shackley, good to see you. Oh no, Miriam, looks like SF. So some people think it's a dude, and I just want to be honest. I just want to be upfront. Please be respectful of everybody's opinion. Some people think it's a man. Some people think it's a lady. We'll go over the mannerisms. You know, and I think there's other things that we need to look at as well that could give us clues. Yeah, exactly, John Taylor. Yeah, so the whole bathroom thing, again, if they came from that other area here, right? I mean, we can only see as far as here, but they clearly had came from here. I mean, again, you've got at least the pie store, you've got the T-Mobile store, Urgent Vet. I don't know about the dental place letting you go in and use the restroom, but I would think this place and this place, and then you have a coffee shop, Starbucks right there. You definitely should be able to go in and use the restroom. So, seems a little fishy. Not officially, Lana. But we're gonna go over first. We're gonna go over what law enforcement said after this all came out, and I just want to point out some really very suspicious wording that brings up some red flags about this whole thing. Um, this is also important. Height approximately 5'5" to 5'7". Now, at the time, Sebastian was 5'5", so keep that in mind. Mama KK, Miss Katie, she is a little bit taller than Sebastian, so we could say she's about 5'7" ish, right? So with Sebastian being 5'5" and Mama being a little bit taller, we'll just kind of say that she is somewhere about 5'7". And so before we get into male or female and who they could be, I want to bring up this statement, these two. Now, I apologize. It's probably really hard to see right here. This is the statement they put out. So the Texas Roadhouse footage started being released, I think, late November, early December. Correct me if I'm wrong. If you guys know the exact date, because obviously it kind of slowly filtered out with At Night when it came to the Texas Roadhouse footage. But I think, especially with the green hoodie, I think they hinted at it in like late October, November, and then finally released the video, I think late November, December, 2024. And then, of course, everybody saw how this person interacted with Katie, which was super sus. And then, so obviously, I'm sure their hotline was blowing up with Green Hoodie. And then it was about what felt like about a week later, we got this response from, was it Sumner County? I'm not going to read the whole thing, just the highlights, but December 13th, which I believe was a Friday. Let's go back and look. We want to address that the recent speculation surrounding the individual seen wearing a green hoodie near Texas Roadhouse in relation to the disappearance of Sebastian Rogers. We understand the community's concern and desire for answers in this case. Today, detectives interviewed the person in question regarding their presence on the night of February 25th. So, as you can see, it says December 13th, 2024. Today, detectives interviewed a person. So keep that in mind, because this will be big as we move forward to what they say. Oh, and then they also say we can confirm that after a thorough discussion with this individual, there's no evidence linking them to Sebastian's disappearance. We appreciate the diligence, I'm just going to say diligence and cooperation from the public and all those involved in the search for Sebastian. However, we urge the community to approach social media. Where are we also? Anyway, they basically said, yes, we found this person, and we can confirm that they're not related to his disappearance. But then this is where we have major, major red flags. Part of what I'm showing is from Nick Barris, our favorite reporter. But here is, so he had allegedly went and spoke to Sumner County as well. Back when he would update on this case, he doesn't anymore that I know of. Now, look at what it says at the bottom. This is really disturbing. So here's his, after he spoke with Sumner County, he first relayed all that information I just read there. And it kind of goes over, yes, it's good to keep his name out there. And then he kind of responds. So here's the last part. Some were acting as if though this video just surfaced and was key evidence. Nope. Authorities had the video and vetted it as nothing just days after Sebastian's disappearance. Let me say that again. Authorities had the video and vetted it as nothing just days after Sebastian's disappearance. Well, that's not true. And if they had vetted this person, why did they need to feel that they needed to vet him again 10 months later? Yeah, get off my lawn. Yes, I think you're right. I don't know if they had their actual car or if somebody else was driving them. Yeah, you're right. They were across. Yes, I agree. Now, from what I understand, correct me if I'm wrong, and I need to speak with a certain individual that knows for sure, but from what I understand, they did not have this video evidence until at night went and collected it, and then they went and got it. I'm not sure. Because as we're going to read the transcript, which now is going to kind of lead into what they felt about this person and why they think it's a female. But that makes no sense. Authorities had the video embedded as nothing just days after he disappeared, but yet you're you're interviewing him 10 months later? That makes no sense. I think you're right on that, Kitty, as far as the beginning, because they mentioned that Sundays are kind of a big day for them. All right. But if I'm wrong, if I recall, they did not get that footage until after. Maybe they had it and just never looked at it, but if I recall, wasn't Texas Roadhouse upset because they thought that they did not collect it? Yeah. So, yep, exactly. So, before we look at the transcript, and then we'll get into female, male, and then what the possible identities, and then another clue that we could look into. And again, please don't attack anybody. If if you feel it's male and somebody says female, please be open-minded. Ultimately, we don't know. I personally think it's a female, but again, until we know. Here's what Seth had to say, and I find this very suspicious as well.
To say if you can't.
Let me go full screen on this. This is very interesting on what Seth said about the green hoodie person.
Hoodie person is, you don't have to say if you can't. They did not tell us who the green hoodie person was, but we are 100% confident that they made contact with this person and that person is not affiliated with this situation, as per their statement.
They went as far as showing me the body cam that they had made contact with the individual. They did not show me their face, and they did not tell me their name because they don't want the individual harassed. But they did make contact, and it is
so that's interesting.
That they had made contact with the individual. They did not show me their face, and they did not tell me their name because they don't want the individual harassed.
So he didn't see a face. He doesn't know their name. So he's seeing body cam of just some individual that's clearly with no face. why would they do that? I'd understand if maybe. Here's the issue. Why not show the face but not the name? That is super sus to me.
But they did make contact, and it is.
But anyway, I find that super shady. Yeah, let me know what you guys think, but I find that super shady. They claim they said made contact me. I with their track record, I hate to say it, I don't have much faith in them. Okay. So now and we'll do a poll so it's anonymous. 1 second here. And don't forget, this person went into the ladies' restroom. Don't forget that. But we'll do an anonymous poll so that way no one, if anybody wants to share their opinion, they can do it via the poll so no one. Yep, they go and use the restroom. So this is why the whole transient thing, and from what I understand, because again, I have a lot of contacts with the locals, and they say this is an area that really doesn't have, transient people around. Not to say it's not impossible, but again, look at this person. They just dart. Like, again, if they were begging for money, look at all these individuals. They could have asked for money. Nothing. They are darting back through the bushes. And especially if they get in a vehicle that is behind there, I would feel that there would less likely be cameras back here. Not to say there couldn't be. But was that on by design that they were parked somewhere back here behind these establishments that would less likely have cameras, or if they did, they would be in the front, and that is why they parked back here. Now this is 2022. Texas Roadhouse would have been right here. So this is the bush that the lady or green hoodie person walked through. And then there's like a vehicle that you can see a little bit short time later. Okay, so let me read this. I know it's been read before, but it's very short. This is at night speaking with Texas Roadhouse. And again, I know a little bit more behind the scenes of kind of what took place. Again, I can't remember every single detail. But again, from what I understand, they did not have this footage until At Night went out there. And from what I understand, it was actually, again, this is rumor, but it was because of one individual, I won't say who that is, went and actually spoke to some of these employees, and that got the attention of I think one of the managers, and they had known about the case. A lot of the others weren't as familiar, but I think one of the managers was familiar with the case and was concerned and kind of knew that this was kind of the last place they were seen, and even they were kind of frustrated that law enforcement hadn't come to collect the footage at that point, and that you had this other entity coming to collect it and not law enforcement. So here's just a quick little transcript. You can see it's dated September 5th, 2025. So last year. Texas Roadhouse. Right. Looking at the footage with no outside info, it's clear people aren't seeing that the person who passes by Katie in front of the something vehicle had already appeared in the frame about a minute and a half earlier. So they're saying, yes, this lady had already walked up towards Katie's car, walked up and stood by the car. We don't want to publicize that yet. We don't want this person to run. So I think they had an idea of who this person could be, but they don't want to put it out to the public just in case if they did know. The individual who passed them and came into the restaurant went into the ladies' restroom. People don't realize that. The image isn't perfect and at a distance, but there's a strong resemblance to, and I don't know if maybe they thought it was, one of the theories was it was Chris's stepsister or sister. The one that unfortunately passed away, I think, via cancer. And that says, redacted, we're aware. Texas Roadhouse, that doesn't prove anything by itself, but the bathroom entrance they used is the women's restroom. Continued. On a busy Sunday night, so as one mentioned earlier, yeah, it seems like Sunday night is a busy. People don't typically walk in from the lot just to use the bathroom and leave. It looks like she left after that. I could be wrong. You're talking about the person in the green hoodie. Correct. Texas Roadhouse. Correct. Some video when blank leaves and passes the green hoodie. That individual comes in, walks around the bar, and heads to the ladies' restroom. Clip ends there, but I'm pretty sure the exterior camera shows that person exiting a couple of minutes after the initial encounter. And then it looks like they had an idea who this person could be, and they're like, if we could send photos, could you verify 100% possible whether it's so-and-so? Other than online images, I can only say it's a strong resemblance. So, obviously, at night had a person in mind, I'm assuming. And then it continues. So maybe this is an employee. So-and-so believes it's a woman, not a man, as some online are claiming. I recommend looking that way. I feel there's something going on with blank. The fact the person went into the women's bathroom is what has me focus. That's a key piece. Even if it somehow weren't a female, I highly doubt it, I guess. The blank put out that it was a man in his 60s, said blank identified him and claimed something, spoke to Texas Roadhouse. That's part of why we shared the footage. And this is about over. That individual went into the ladies' restroom 100%. From your end, you verified they walked around the bar. Did they buy anything? No, they did not. Nothing. They came in, went to the bathroom. Clip ends there, which is frustrating. And they leave. And then you can see this is Texas Roadhouse is one of the employees or management. I called again today after re-reviewing the footage last night. It hit me like a brick wall. I'm worried we're missing a chance to find this young man who could still be alive. So you can see that this person, because I know a little bit more context to some stuff before all this got released. Because again, there was an individual or individuals that, were trying to look into this case and knew that obviously he was last seen at Texas Roadhouse and felt like there could have been answers there. And they knew that they got a kind of a sense that at least one, if not one or two employees knew about the case and were concerned. I've seen enough to know what we're dealing with. It's about identifying the person. I feel like he knew her. He stepped outside. I'm looking for a picture now. I'm an old one. I'm grabbing a recent one. I'll start. And he's referring to Sebastian. And that's why this will be important. Fish sticks aren't good. It's fish sticks. But this is an important key piece. Remember this. This will kind of come in line with just one theory. I've seen enough to know what we're dealing with. It's also about identifying that person. I felt like he, and he is referring to Sebastian, knew her. And because he stepped outside. And I think this was one of the last parts. If you zoom in after so many years in this business, I watch blank the way this person walks after passing blank doesn't look like a male. It reads as female mannerisms. And then whoever's corresponding, send in pictures now. Send an old photo. So again, they have an idea of what they believe that person could be and seeing if this employee recognizes. I'm putting you on speaker. Yeah, that's the one. So-and-so looked at based on the face and light hair. Could be blonde rather than gray. The features fit that body type. And here is them. Okay. Should we do the female mannerisms first and then we'll do a vote? I agree 100%, Bridget. Feet. Yes, Jewel, that's right. Yeah, it was Melissa Richard. Yeah, definitely. Okay. So let's da, 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 da. Okay. Here is a couple of shots of the green hoodie walking. And let me know. I'm going to start up a poll now. Actually, while I'm setting up the poll, this is a couple of shots where this person's walking. Actually, and I'll get caught up in chat. Let me do that first, and I'm going to set up the poll. So there's kind of a zoomed out portion and a zoomed in, just in case if you're on your phone. So the bottom is zoomed in. They're both lined up, synced wise. But I've got a couple of spots where they're walking. I feel like there's a few telltale signs, in my opinion, that it's a female. Again, that's just my opinion. Kiki, oh yeah, I think I got you. Member for 15 months. So much. Thank you so much, Kiki. Sassy gifted a mob crew membership. Thank you, Sassy, for everything, for your support, your hard work. God bless you, sweetheart. Lori says, besides GP, GH and KP handing something off to each other. Which I agree. There's definitely a handoff. And thank you, Lori, for the 15 months. Thank you for all you do, Chris and mods. Thank you so much, Joelle. Member for 10 months. God bless you. All right, let me set this up. Start a poll. Do you think that Okay, one more time. And there's a couple of things that I wanted to point out, but I'm trying to get this poll up. Okay, one more. Oh, geez, I got to spell. I believe it is. No. And not sure. Okay. So that way, if anyone wants to share their opinion on male or female, we have a poll up there. We'll see where people lie. So here's a couple things, and then we'll get into possible identities, and also another clue that we could look at as well. All right, one thing I've talked to a couple of people about this that Green Hoodie does, and that is, dang it, is when it's really more when this person is leaving past Katie and Sebastian after the exchange. Coming up right here. Now, what this person does reminds me of how, like, my mother walked, especially when she was around, like, objects, vehicles, or steps, or just anything, objects around her that maybe she could trip or stumble onto, but she would have her hands out. Again, not to say men couldn't do it, but just when she does, or this person does this, it reminds me of like how my mom would walk around, kind of having the hands out just in case might trip on something, or they almost even like put their hand down on this to make sure they're not going to trip on the curb there. One more time. But walking like that just kind of reminds me of how my mom walked. The shoes that they're wearing, interestingly enough, although I can't really tell 100%, is very interesting that they have the white sole and black top sneakers, just like Katie and Sebastian are wearing. I found that kind of interesting. Could that just be a random coincidence? But, you know, you can see their shoes. Oops. It's hard to see the sneakers back here, but they literally have that same white sole and kind of black top on the what appears to be kind of sneakers. It says, yes, it's a woman. I'm wrong. Well, I mean, we don't know 100%, right? I mean, it could be, yeah, I mean, again, in this case, anything's possible. Oh, ladies walking. Man, I'd be curious how they found that out, but I mean, I can see the white sole and black top. I can't really. Oh, is it sandals? Oh, and they're wearing black socks? Oh, is it sandals? Holy shit. Am I wrong on that? I didn't see the strap. Oh my god, are they sandals? I may stand corrected on the sneaker part. Um, I know. Is that what they think is sandals? That is the design, not sandals. That is design. Okay, so you're saying that could be just the logo. Okay. I mean, that would make sense because it's February. Okay, maybe I'm wrong on that. Maybe I was right the first time. Someone had mentioned sandals, and now. Yeah. Yeah, that would be kind of odd. Not to say it's not possible, but I see what you're saying. That was like the logo, like it could be like the Nike logo. Not saying it's Nike, but then here is them leaving, and then we'll get into possible identities. And they do something again. I'm looking at shoes. Watch the hand movement right here by the car. They do that same thing where they're kind of right there. There is that. Okay. Now to possible identities. Yeah, I do now think they're sneakers. I go back on my first thought. For a minute there, it did look like it was kind of like one of those straps that went over, but so again, one of the identities, Chris's stepsister, which she had already passed away, right? I think before this, or shortly after
my earlier video where I talked about how Hong and some of his people on X are claiming that Melissa, Chris's stepsister, is Green Hoodie. Now, I looked into it. Hong stated yesterday that Melissa passed tragically. I think I found her on a couple of different social media platforms. If I have the right Melissa, I'm pretty sure I do. I'm almost fairly positive that I do. It does indicate that she was battling cancer, and it does showcase that she did live in Wisconsin for a period of time. So I can't remember if it was at night, Nick the Hat, or Hong.
And if she was battling cancer, I'm assuming she'd be obviously taking the medication that obviously would be we can see her wearing a beanie there, so maybe causing the hair loss.
Whoever it was that was saying like, we're searching Wisconsin, people are looking in Wisconsin. I'm wondering if that has anything to do with Melissa.
Now this, for those that don't know, so this is who that's Oh, shame on me. It's been a minute since I've seen him. Matt Thibodeau. Thibodeau? I always butcher his last name, but that's Matt. Matt T. Usually on Twitter and TikTok, I think, mainly.
Battling
Chemotherapy, thank you.
cancer, and it does showcase that she did live in Wisconsin to do with
Okay. Now, this here is KK's mother. And notice the hair. We're going to look at the body here in a second. Is it Thibodeau? Yeah, I really like Matt. I love his demeanor. I love what he does. Mad respect for him. Very smart kid. So this is Mama P, not Mama Sucks, but Mama P. And yes, she is she an RSO? Has done some time, obviously. Mugshot. But she's out during this time. There she is again, and we're going to see her full body here in just a second. But interestingly enough, remember, now we don't know. Oh, I think we have her. We have her as. I believe she is 5'7". From her information. This is Katie's mother. She, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong in that, but she is 5'7". And notice the hair, very light hair, which resembles Green Hoodie hair. There is a shot of her there in 2022. And I would say she's kind of got the approximate body type. Yeah, you could wear a wig. You're right with chemo. Oh, for sure, Meep. Yeah. So on the right here is, and I'll put this full screen just so you can see it a little bit better. This is going to be her body type. I play a couple of different overlays of Green Hoodie walking along with her mother, and let me know what you guys think. I'm not saying this is 100% her, but with the light hair, she's 5'7". Green Hoodie doesn't look like, they're not short, but they're not tall. I think they're just kind of average height. There are ways we could figure out, such as how she's standing or this person's standing next to a truck. If they were standing next to some kind of object, we could get, the height of this truck and then kind of decipher from there. I'm sure there's ways we could get approximate height, but if I recall, yeah. So let me put this full screen so you guys can see this. But yeah, it's just, again, I'm not saying 100% this is her, but just a theory, just to put it out there. And I do, because she does do some hand things. So I do a couple of them. See what you guys think here. Yeah, I mean, I can't. I'm not saying that we can say 100%, but and I have to give a lot of credit to hindsight for Voices of Truth. A lot of this is them getting these photos and stuff behind the scenes, so definitely credit to them. But yeah, I mean, not gonna lie, I mean, she's got, again, I forget how old is the mother. Do we know? I'd assume Katie's in the 40s, so she'd be maybe 60s, 60ish. Um, obviously not a very clear image. It's tough to say, what this age of this person is, but I'd say the body type is close. Obviously, Hoodie is wearing at least 2 layers. They have a shirt. You can tell. You can see the white collar right here, and a hoodie, and maybe more layers under to kind of maybe hide their identity or body type. I guess So, but the hair with the white, the light hair is interesting, especially if she just cut the hair in the back, right? What's interesting, from what I understand, 57. Oh, she's not very old at all. So, it would be curious to know if we could ever find any video or footage of the mother after his disappearance, right? I mean, I guess she could always just put on a wig whenever she went out, and we wouldn't know. But man, if there was ever any pictures of her with cut hair, did when she was last inside, whatever she was doing for, I forget. Hindsight would know. Did she cut her hair when she was in there? I forget her full name. I guess that wouldn't be an issue putting in chat. Usually we try to refrain from putting. Is it Bridget? No, it's not Bridget. Francis. Francis. What is Mama's name? I can't remember. We can just even put the initials. I completely forgot to grab Texana. I don't know Texana. Rosenbaum. Yeah, she has that same name as it's so weird. Isn't that the same last name as in the Summer Wells case? Wasn't it like, or am I thinking Rose? Or it was Rose something. It's been a while since I've covered Summer Wells. I don't want to get, but Francis. Yeah, unfortunately, I didn't grab Tex on it. Honestly, I don't even know who Tex on it is. I would do that maybe in a future live. I'll grab it just to show, because again, it doesn't hurt to look at all the comparisons. Okay, Bugsy, I know who you're talking about, and so I know that is a rumor that people are looking into. I don't want to get too specific, but they believe that now, obviously, the neighbor, Chris, who I call Carly, the neighbor across the street, who allegedly had an affair with KK. Definitely himself is on my radar, 100%. Now, he has a son who I think some are believe that could be Green Hoodie. Now, I will agree. Now, this is a male, obviously, the son. Younger. I'm not sure his age. Probably in his 30s, maybe. Has 1 or 2 children. He definitely has the body type, and I would say the hair. The only issue I have is there is a Facebook photo of him with the kids literally on February 25th, 2024, in Michigan. Now, maybe that photo was uploaded that day and it was taken a week or two before. I don't know 100% on that. But yes, I will say yes, the body type, I'm not going to, say, oh no, there's no way. Because definitely when it comes to CC, or as I call him, Carly, him himself is definitely on my radar 100%. But in my opinion, I don't think it is the son. But I don't know, Yeah, hindsight, Voices of Truth, they're going to kind of go over that, show like where that person was. But there is literally a Facebook photo. I don't want to pull it up because it has children in it. I mean, I could have blurred it, but I just didn't want to pull it up. But yeah, I mean, it literally is a Facebook post of him in Michigan, right? Michigan? On the 25th, the night he went missing. Or, it's a daytime shot, but I don't know. I will say, again, to be fair, the body type is close. But I think that kid, also, here's another thing, that although the body type, like, big boned, and the hair, I'll admit, is similar. That kid looks to be at least 6 feet tall. His dad is definitely like over 6 feet. Carly is. So I think that would be, that way there could be some ways to maybe get an approximate height by what Green Hoodie stands next to. Like, say this pillar right here, as they're passing it. Let's see. Like, you could say, if you had a local that knew the measurement, you measure, because all these different bricks it'd be pretty easy to tell. I mean, when they walk past, I mean, obviously we are kind of a top-down view a little bit, or not top-down, but it's not level with them, so it wouldn't be 100% accurate, but you could kind of get an idea of how tall they are if someone were to measure this pillar as they're walking past it. Yeah. Yeah, too tall. Lisa says, not big bone, thick. Yeah, I just say big bone. Yeah, that's funny you bring that up, Bridget. So here's the other thing that we can look into. The last thing, our last part here. I agree, Miriam. I mean, I want to say 100%, because I can't say, we know Hoodie to be 5'7" for sure, right? It's too bad we can't see Katie and Green Hoodie a little bit better. It's too bad that the camera isn't angled up just a little bit more so we could see them standing side by side. Because we know the height of the Katie, more or less. We know the height of Sebastian, and we know the height of Francis. So the last thing that we could also try to do is what is on the sweatshirt or on the hoodie. And it's really tough because obviously, you know, when you zoom in, it starts to get really fuzzy. But when you look at some of the, just a few of the characteristics of what's on the hoodie. So we know it's an olive green hoodie, appears to be olive green. It has gold block lettering. And it looks like we have at least a U. And I can't say 100%, but it looks like an N or a U. It's either an N or a U on the bottom. So it looks like a U up here. You know, it looks like two words. You know, something up and then something below. And there, when she's, or they, kind of looks like an N there. And an N right there. And so, an interesting thing about what we have from that is, interestingly enough, the U.S. Navy has the same. They typically will use navy blue because obviously Navy. They use gold, or what they call anchor gold, because they have the eagle with the anchor or globe with the anchor. And they typically use gold or tan lettering, you know, in a lot of their logos. And again, and in block letters. And so running that through ChatGPT, it does appear that it's possible it could be United States Navy sweatshirt. I can't say 100% because, again, you know, we can't see all of the lettering. The only other thing I would say is if it wasn't, sorry, let me go back. There is one shot that's interesting. If it wasn't a United States Navy, because again, it does appear that whatever this lettering, it's block lettering, and whatever the words are, especially on the bottom, if this was one letter, if you think about it, if that was just one letter, and it's already almost towards the middle section, whatever that word is couldn't be more than maybe 4 or 5 letters long. Navy is 4. Whatever that word on the bottom is, it isn't very long. But there is also another one, and this would be my second suggestion, is right here. Where is it? Right here. It almost looks like a U right here. So the other suggestion would be, would it be some kind of university sweatshirt? Like a UVU, that's Utah Valley University. That'd be my two guesses, is either United States Navy. If that was it, then that would be wild because obviously Katie and Crispy being in the Navy. Maybe it could be. And it says, I believe my opinion could be was telling Sebastian he's going with someone that night. He shook his head no at dinner. Army, yeah, Army, sure. I just bring up Navy just because of the looking up Chat GPT and just looking at a bunch of Navy stuff. They do tend to use that navy blue, and or they tend to use olive green. With I guess olive green goes good with the gold block lettering. So those would be the two guesses. Would be some kind of navy, maybe even army, something. But if it was navy again, that would be really wild because again, considering Katie being in the navy. University of Tennessee, maybe. VCU Rams. Let's look that up. VCU Rams. It makes me want to run this on like a 4chan or something. I've talked about how people have come together, just a bunch of sleuths on like 4chans or even Reddit, where somebody will post like an image, or there was a case where it was a hit and run, and all they found was this little piece of plastic, right? Real tiny piece of plastic. And the detectives, they had no idea what it was. So they posted on Reddit or 4chan or Bold, and people started looking at it, and it just happened to be that a retired state inspector recognized the piece, and it was part of a bezel that goes in the headlight of a truck. And since it was a truck that was in its like, an older truck, like, 70s or 80s or whatever, there's not many registered in that area. And he knew what kind of bezel it was that it belonged to. They were able to find these. There was like 3 of them registered in that area. They were able to solve this case just by posting, something like that on 4chan or Reddit, and then letting people, do their little sleuthing. BC Ram. Olive Hoodie. Oh, yeah. That one up there is a little close to it. I bet if we did like post, if that could get some traction, I bet that somebody would figure that out. What kind of hoodie that is. That's basketball. It's not Rams. Or is that the team? Oh, that is Rams. I see the Ram. Okay. VCU, what Virginia. Okay, so that's Virginia. Huh. Oh, it'd be interesting if that was. Maybe we should make Sebastian's Army sweatshirts in green for the merch store. Vols, not the Vols. That's a green shirt, definitely not the Vols. Yeah, yeah, you can see that she's got a white. Yeah, and you can see the black. You can definitely see the white t-shirt under, without a doubt. There, yeah. Yeah, you can see the white and yeah, whatever's on the bottom, it appears it's no more than 3 to 4 letters block. And then it's maybe, I don't know, it's tough to say what's on the top. Definitely probably a bigger word because it stretches out over. First letter V. Yeah, it could be a V. Oh, up on the top. Yeah, I think somebody, Virginia Tech. Virginia. I was looking at that too, Ashley. United States Naval Academy mom. Yeah. Virginia Commonwealth. I'm sure if, like I said, if we were to put this up on like some Reddit and it got attraction, Commonwealth. Yeah. Ooh. Green Virginia Commonwealth. VCU. Virginia Commonwealth. Yeah, I saw that one there. I mean, this is not it, but that does have the block lettering. VCU. I mean, that. Look at this one more time. That may be VCU at the bottom. VC. I am pretty much sure that is a U there. It's tough to say because it's got the drawstrings there, but VCU. I don't know. I think we could figure it out if we kept kind of. Yeah, I did that too, Kitty. Yeah, they're. Again, I'm sure with enough research, someone to find out. It is tough though, because it's like we don't have all of the. Just a little bit better quality on the hoodie itself, but
car in the garage. That light was on the entire night. Every
where were TVI? So that's what they did.
You did take one and pack it.
Okay, let me get caught up on chat for a second.
Stuff the rest.
Well, I mean, me and Katie both taken polygraph tests with law enforcement. And we both passed our polygraph test. Seth, as I don't know.
Yeah, I was looking at that too.
Only from what I've been told, Seth took a polygraph test through Nancy Grace's TV show.
Okay.
I was advised by TBI not to do that. So that's part of the big thing is they're all upset because, I told Nancy Grace that I would do it. And then when I went and talked to TBI, they said no. don't recommend you do it. Okay, then that means I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
So I'll take it to TBI. So that's what they did.
You did take one and
Okay. Real quick, let me catch up. Stephanie, thank you so much for the donation via Venmo. God bless you. It really helps this channel out. We would love to continue, maybe down the line to do, I really don't want to do another fundraiser anytime soon, but it would be nice to somehow bring our community together the way we did so quickly and do something else. Obviously, we need to finish with what we have now, and hopefully the keychain flashlight. We'll definitely get it worked out. We're just hoping we get it worked out, in time. Because it's 2-year anniversary's coming up. I think it'd be so cool. Sassy gifting. It popped up 3 times, so I don't know if you did it more than once, but if you did, thank you so much, Sassy. And if you do get gifted a Mob Crew membership, if you could thank that person, that is so sweet. Thank you so much, Sassy. And yeah, okay, I caught up on that. Let's see the poll here. So the poll with almost 300 votes, we have 64% believe it's a female. We have about 20%, it's at 19, believe it's a male, and then 17% not sure. So majority of you think it's female, but there are some who believe it's a male. Again, we don't know 100%. And I've seen some of the arguments. So far from, the little bit that I've seen for as far as comparing people that we know of, I would say, Grandma here is a pretty, I'm not saying it's 100%, but it seems like a good fit for sure. The hair and everything. And the body type. Pocahontas says, love you all, Sebastian Army. Thank you so much, Pocahontas, for the 18-month support and for just everything. We are going to do something for the mods in March. I mentioned that. Sandy says, Chris, can you see if anyone has all the other views of video? You mean like different cameras, Sandy? If that is your question, I don't think so. I think there's just this one camera. If that's what you're asking. I'm sorry, Mullet. That is it's just ridiculous. There's a lot from Texas Roadhouse. Part true, Mullet. Part true. I don't know if there's any other angles that some people have, because we just have the 2, I think maybe 3. I'm not sure how many cameras they had, but I think there's only 2 views that the public at least has. No, look. Oh, you think he's shorter? Look, okay, so watch Sebastian come out. Wait, hold on. Here. One second. Watch Sebastian now. Watch this pillar on the right. Right? We got to use an an anchor point, as I call it. Green Hoodie is taller than Sebastian. This is second. Perfect, right here. Watch Sebastian. He's going to be right next to this pillar here in just a second. Here he comes. And we need him to walk in front of it. So Sebastian, obviously Mama is taller than Sebastian. We know that. Sebastian, I would say, comes up a little bit above this line here, while in front of it. A little bit in front. He was about 1 foot away from it. And as Green Hoodie passes, and they're about 1 foot away from it. So they're about in the same position as, so if I were to take Sebastian and I could overlay them both in the same view, because it's a static, I mean, I could literally just overlay Sebastian standing in that same spot where Green Hoodie's at. Actually, that would be a genius idea. I will do that in the next live, because they actually stand basically in the same position. They're just facing two different directions. Green Hoodie is at the very least as tall as Sebastian. I would, in my opinion, say a few inches taller. But I could put them over each other in that same spot. One more time. Oh, all right. Oh, here we go. Yeah, they stand almost in the same. Yeah, Green Hoodie is like standing right there. I could literally put Green Hoodie and them together. And then we could see. So, yeah, I could do that next time. I think at the very least they're the same height. I think Green Hoodie's probably just a tad taller. I do not think they're shorter than Sebastian, though, in my opinion. Yeah, that's what I noticed, Ashley. Yeah, they're all wearing that white sole black top sneaker, which is interesting. And then again, think of it if this was Francis, right? Just in theory. Doesn't it seem like, and just like how Texas Roadhouse, the employee said, like, it's like as if Sebastian knew this person. So look how he's like looking like, you know, like, oh, is that Grandma Rosenbaum? Anyway, just saying. Yeah, who is not supposed to be around kids? Yeah, it seems like Sebastian appears to know this person, male, female, whoever, but yeah. Anyway, members, if you have not sent in a pet pic, this is only for the members. If you have not sent in a pet picture, I would do that so I can get those in tonight, and into tomorrow. For any of the newer members, and we'll get those collected, so I can get something ready by like Monday or Tuesday, to allow some people to turn those in. And then either it'll be tomorrow or Saturday. It just kind of depends, because with tomorrow being Friday, I think we can speak with Spice Stadium Friday and Saturday. I think Sunday they're not there. Obviously, the top priority is the keychain flashlight. So we're trying to get that all worked out. So that's the main priority. But the GPR data, and then along with the GPR data, I'm trying to connect some of the action going on, like the vehicles that we see on Killen, with the cemetery. And so anyway, but the GPR, I think will be exciting. I know I've been mentioning we will go over that sooner, but again, unfortunately I got sick, and then I figured I wanted to take some time on that so I can do it properly and not misquote something and get somebody the wrong impression. Because again, going over that data, obviously I'm not a GPR data expert. I do have people that know how to read that stuff. So I been getting some support and learning how to go over the data the best that I can. So I think Saturday will probably be the day we go over that. Yeah, Neuro says GH waved it. Yeah. Yep. Butterfly Girl, hold on that. First, we have to make sure everything's good. When we know more, I will, we'll give those details out. I'm going to say right now, nobody's guaranteed to get one because we can only make so many. This is from the rest of the funds. But, obviously, you guys will know. Once that's done, you'll have a heads up. So, no, there's no link yet. If you missed earlier this live, we have a small issue that we're trying to figure out. So, it will hopefully by next weekend everything will be ready to go. Hopefully, again, no guarantees, because again, this is new territory for us. We think it's an amazing idea. Everybody agrees it's a great idea. But the design we have, if you missed it earlier, you can go and watch it. I kind of explained that we have to kind of redesign our our logo or whatever. So, Virginia Morgan, thank you. Or is it Virginia? I'm sorry. I'll just say Morgan. I'm sorry. It's really small, that first part. Morgan, thank you so much for the support, the $5 super chat. God bless you. It helps me out so much. Oh, that's a good question, Melissa. Yeah, so God, that's a really great question, Melissa, because yeah, if they're like a real popular thing, we may try to figure out a way to maybe because like I said, I don't want to do like another fundraiser because one's enough. I mean, it's great that we did what we did with this community, but maybe there's a way that we could, have people come together to like order them or something. That would be awesome. Yeah, we'll know a lot more, by next week. So give it a little bit of time again, because it's, the communication. It is nice. They are communicating daily, but again, it's via email and takes time. So. Sassy, giving another Mob Crew membership. Oh, Sassy, you're too sweet. Thank you so much. Thank you to all my mods. God bless you guys. And of course, I can't wait until we can get this, get these keychains made, so then we can do something for the mods. So, with that, thank you to everyone for the love and support. I will try to do a makeup live tomorrow, if not Saturday for sure, and it will be the GPR data. So that'll be an exciting show. Definitely tune in. I'll let you guys know on the Facebook. I'll even probably post on the channel as well on the community page if it's tomorrow, if it's going to be tomorrow or Saturday. All right, guys, I'm going to do a pet outro, and we will see you guys then. Much love. Stay warm out there. And again, for the members, new members that have not sent in pet pictures, email me. Just put your picture of your pet. If you can't put in the subject line, put pet, so I can easily look that up. And yeah. We should see you guys possibly tomorrow, if not for sure Saturday. God bless.
Calling secrets from your